Sometimes we live our life as if the universe, reality, is obliged to give us a rose garden, a life in a rose garden. We better reflect on this illusion, whether universe is obliged to give us a life lived in a rose garden. It may not give us a rose garden always. Why should it give me so much suffering, so much pain? Why not? Universe says, I have not promised you a rose garden. Let us begin with this story, a beautiful story. Story of a deer, animal deer. In a forest, a pregnant deer is about to give birth, a holy time. She finds a remote grass field near a strong, flowing, torrential river. For the deer, this seems to be a safe place to give birth to a baby. Suddenly, the labor pains begin. At the same moment, dark clouds gather around and lightning starts the forest fire. She looks to her left and sees a hunter with bow extended pointing at her. To her right, she sees a lion, hungry lion, approaching her. What can the poor deer do? She's pregnant, she's in labor. What will happen? Will the deer survive? Will she give birth to a fawn? Fawn is like cat has kitten, deer has fawn, young one. Will she give birth to a fawn? Will the fawn survive? Whether both of them will be eaten by that lion? Or will everything be burnt by the forest fire? Will she perish to the hunter's arrow? Will she die a horrible death at the hands of that hungry lion approaching her? She is constrained by the fire on the one side, cannot move that fire. Constrained by torrential water in the river floods, she cannot move that side. What does she do? She has only one choice. She completely focuses on giving birth to a new life. That is her focus. Amidst all these uncertainties, tragedies, catastrophes, she has one choice: to give birth to a new life. But the universe has its own way of functioning. What actually happens is the sequence of events that follow are lightning strikes and blinds the hunter. Hunter cannot see. Lightning strikes him. He releases the arrow, losing the focus, which zips past the deer and strikes the hungry lion. It runs away. This side it starts to rain heavily, and the forest fire is slowly extinguished, doused by the rain. And the deer gives birth to a healthy fawn, healthy young one. In our life too, there are moments of choice when we are confronted on every side with negative thoughts and possibilities, tragedies. Some thoughts are so powerful that they overcome us, overwhelm us. Maybe we can learn from this deer. Deer had only one focus amidst those dangers. The priority of the deer in that given moment was to simply to give birth to a baby. The rest was not in her hands. There was no rose garden, and any action or reaction that changed the focus from giving birth to a baby would have likely resulted in death or disaster. What do we learn? Important lessons learned. Where did you learn the most important lessons in life? Reflect on this. In which situations you learn the most precious, important lessons in life? When you achieved something? No, not when you achieved something. Actually, when we were most humiliated, when we faced situations most problematic, when we were most forgotten, ignored, most ridiculed, most misunderstood, most threatened, we carry this lesson to the rest of our life. When we were defeated, when we were suspected, when we were most down, when we were most sick, when you told the truth and you were punished. These are the teaching lessons. These are the precious lessons of life. So what do we do when the facts happen, when we were not placed in a rose garden as we expected? Because nobody has promised us a rose garden. One choice is surrender to the fact that life isn't fair. Who told you that life has to be fair? Surrender to that inevitable fact that life is not fair. Who said life was going to be fair, or that it was even meant to be fair? Life isn't fair. I accept it. Ironically, recognizing this life is not fair, and nobody has promised me a rose garden in my life, that everything will be fine, everything will go on well, is a great liberating insight. Great liberating insight. One of the mistakes many of us make is that we feel sorry for ourselves or for others, that life should be fair. So many times we feel sorry for ourselves, or someday it will be fair. It's not. It won't be fair. When we make this mistake that life should be fair, we tend to spend a lot of time complaining about what's wrong with life. It's not fair. We complain. One of the nice things about surrendering to the fact that life isn't fair is that it keeps us from feeling sorry for ourselves by encouraging us to do the best we can with what we have. That's what deer gave birth. Surrounded by dangers, the only thing she could do at that moment is to give birth to a young one. Let it be. That would be a good mantra. In life, whatever happens, let it be. Just rest in reality that all is well. There's a summary of spirituality. Let it be. Let it be. That incident, let it be. This incident, let it be. Good incident, let it be. Bad incident, let it be. Great tragedy, let it be. Whatever happens, let it be. We are firm then with stability of a mountain and a softness of a flower. Strength of a mountain and softness of a flower, because I say, let it be. It's okay, let it be. Yes, I consent for this. In difficulties, in death of a relative, in tragedies, I consent. On my own, I consent. I don't mind what happens. That's the radical secret of happiness. I don't mind what happens. A heart ready for anything. For example, flight is delayed because of weather. No amount of yelling, fighting, arguing at an airline representative will end a storm. No amount of wishing will make you taller or shorter or born in a different country, born in a different family. No matter how hard you try, you can't make someone to like you. This morning, remind yourself what is in your control and what is not in your control. Today, before lunch, remind yourself that the only thing you possess in your life is the ability to make choices. As a deer made a choice to bring life into this world, this is the only thing that can never be taken from you completely. You have the ability to make choices. Remember, we'll remember today, God has not promised us, God has not promised to anybody a rose garden. Bare realities, stark realities in front of us, we make a choice with a well-focused life. Thank you. Meet you next Saturday.